It's like an old Nintendo cartridge. This is the nicest membrane keyboard I've ever seen. This is the Roccat Skeltr. I said it. Let me show you what these guys have got behind the camera there. This is so I remember to say Rocket and not Roccat, because every time I talk to someone and, when I'm over in Germany and stuff, they always like, oh, the new Roccat such and such. Now I said this is the nicest membrane keyboard I've ever seen, and some people have already been like, hold on a minute, it's non-mechanical switches, how the hell is it that expensive? Well, it does a few interesting things here, and I think this has one major use case scenario that is going to drive the sales of this, and that is that you can hook up your phone. There's a little spot here. Phone, someone, phone, coffee, phone, coffee, hot, phone, yes, phone. Check this action. You can put a phone here, put a phone there, put another one right here, but you can only hook up one at a time. Oh, this one's fat. Oh, I broke into a million pieces. If you're feeling very phony, you could put a few here, but you can also put a tablet here, and there's an app that works with this called Swarm. There's also a program on your computer called Swarm, but we'll get to the app in just a second. Your phone goes here, and it can pair up with Bluetooth 3, or it can pair up with your USB, and there's even a little USB pass-through. It comes with all these neat accessories in the box. Above and beyond that, there's a phone button over here on the side. That'll allow you to take calls, and it uses pass-through on your phone to route the audio over to whatever device you're using on your computer. So you can actually just take your phone calls right here. On the other side of the keyboard, there's a button for, it's like a little toggle between the keyboard here and the keyboard on your phone. So when I first saw this, I was like, so let me get this straight. I'm gonna sit down on my computer with the big ass monitor, and I'm gonna press this button instead so that I can type on my phone. Maybe write some emails and stuff. And I was like, well, I guess that could be okay if you have a monitor and you want to transcribe something from here to there. And then I started thinking a little bit more, and I was like, wait a minute, this has a very interesting use case scenario. So let's say you're a Twitch streamer and you've got your chat on your phone. A lot of people keep like a tablet or their phone beside them, and they have the chat on just so they can see, or they throw it up on an extra monitor, but stay with me. Or you got Twitch going, you got the chat right here, and you don't want to alt tab or leave your game or anything like that. Well, you just press the button here to toggle between the, your device and your computer. You press the button, you're over on your tablet, you're on your phone, you chat for a minute. Then you press the button again, and now you're back here. And since it's a membrane keyboard, membrane keyboards are probably the best for streaming because they're nice and quiet. Some of the plungers and that sort of thing. There can be arguments here, fellas, and ladies. It's not that loud. You got your mic right here, mine's right here, but you know what I mean. All right, so that's basically what it is. You've got your crazy gamer aesthetic. We've got RGB, but the big thing that makes it, expensive is the pairing up with the phone and the app and that sort of thing. Other things you can do with the app, well, you can control some bits of your keyboard with it. Not an extreme amount of control yet. One other really interesting thing you can do with this is you can have it display, all of your vitals on your computer, like your temperatures and just basically diagnostics and that sort of thing. Have all that displayed on your phone, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and take an actual look at the physical keyboard itself, shall we? So we already mentioned up there on the top left, we have a couple buttons for, your phone stuff. Above that, just on the top, you got headphone, microphone, we got pass through there, and it does come with the cable to route this. And it's one of the fancy cables that allow you to do, headphone and microphone all in one cable. Allow you to reroute that, and then we have a USB pass-through there, as well as this thick braided cable. Wonderful thick braided cable right there. Got the aggressive gamer aesthetic that some people just can't get enough of. By the way, speaking of this, it's a 1,000 hertz polling rate. Kind of cool. On the bottom here, we have all rubber all the way around, 6 little rubber spots there. Is it 6 or 4? Yeah, 6. And then we have 2 little rubber feet. I'm doing this blind, guys. There we go. If you want it to be at an angle, you can do that. And then we have the removable, did I break it? No. There we go. Removable wrist rest. There we go. As far as the overall build quality goes, its externals mostly plastic here. It feels okay. I mean, it feels pretty premium for an all plastic thing, but it doesn't have like any, it doesn't have any really rubberized texture anywhere. It doesn't have nothing extremely premium. Got your RGB here on the side and the RGB over on this side. And there are several different zones. You can't actually go in and control individual keys with this one. It's not as crazy as some of the other keyboards out there on the market as far as RGB goes. You basically just come over and you can change these zones to anything you want. And then you can change it from a few different settings like breathing or pulsing, which when you press the button, it sends a pulse out. And a few other things like that. Blinking, whatever. If you want it to be like a Nightmare Carnival, you can make it into one. I wish you could change the individual keys. That would be nice, but you know, you just have the 2 zones over here, 2 zones here, and then the entire keyboard is your other zone that you can change with your RGB. Macros. You like macros? I do too. All right, so we have 5 macros over here on the side, and they're in a very nice spot. You can go in and remap every single thing on this. The Swarm software is nice. You can remap every single key on this. You can make every single key a macro. You can do pretty much anything you want with this. Shift key allows you to have a second bank of macros, making it 10 in total right there. So that's kind of cool. And then we have 3 more here at the bottom that can also be used as media keys. Speaking of media keys, the F keys. They're also media keys there. If you just use your function, you can do. We already mentioned this one button that switches between your device, your mobile device, and your computer. But there's another button over here on the side, and that opens up by default the Swarm application in your computer. And speaking of, what in the hell is that noise, dude? And it's kind of annoying. All right, let's go over to Justin and see what the hell that noise is.
There's all kinds of different sounds that you can set up on your thing if you want to have the most annoying typing session ever. Anywhere from clicks. We got the typewriter sound. It takes a second for it to apply sometimes, but nothing says we're in the future like making your keyboard sound like an old piece of technology. The beam sound, which is different from sci-fi.
I can't believe that they put that into the software, because it's something that's obviously only going to be used by one person for a joke, and that no one's ever going to actually seriously do it. But they took the time to put that ridiculous sound effect nonsense into the software. So if they want to, more power to them. You can store settings internally. There's 512 kilobytes of memory, so that's kind of cool. As far as the positioning and everything goes, it's a comfortable keyboard. I actually don't mind typing on rubber domes. Some people hate it. I actually prefer rubber domes over red switches, because reds are just too linear and they feel sloppy, and I've got these fat gorilla hands that just like, ugh. So I prefer this to reds, but you know, it's all a preference thing. Some people prefer this for gaming even, and you can game on this. Some people complain that it's, not as good or not as accurate. I think if you're a good gamer, you can do just fine on rubber domes. The mouse is probably more important. Rubber domes at this price point, however, kind of weird. So the person who's going to be buying this is the person who wants to take care of, a few of those use case scenarios that I was talking about earlier, being able to couple this up with your device. If you really need these features, then this is going to be your keyboard. But rubber domes in this price point is kind of head scratching. Let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and click on all the stuff over here. I've said this too many times because I've said it so fast. Go ahead and click on all the stuff over here on the side. There's some awesome stuff, waiting for you in the store. It's not, well, yeah, it is going somewhere. It's the holidays, but I was going to say it's waiting for you, but it may not. So get over there. Fear of loss. Go buy things. I will see you guys in the comments.